sister and I were both enslaved after the Great War and the defeat of humankind. But before long, my sister's striptease performance earned the Alpha Lycan's favor, and they soon left, holding hands. On the other hand, I was taken away by a masked man unceremoniously after he left some money on the counter. However, no one expected the Alpha Lycan to chew through my sister's throat during the full moon, while the masked man treasured me, pampering me with endless wealth and prestige. My sister turned into a vengeful spirit then, and cursed me to death. When I opened my eyes again, we had both reincarnated to that fateful day. This time, my sister threw herself straight into the masked man's arms, sniffling as she begged, "Please love me." Standing nearby, I laughed. After all, it was wonderful that I didn't have to be a vampire's walking blood pack in this life. When my sister threw herself into the arms of the masked man, I knew that she had reincarnated too. In our last life, when she saw the handsome face of Yorin the Alpha Lycan, she promptly threw herself at him as if bewitched. At the same time, she tripped me in front of the masked man. "Oh, I'm so sorry, Aaron. I didn't mean to. But someone as ugly as you really doesn't suit an alpha." Then leering at the masked man behind me in disdain, she scoffed, "The way I see it, you suit him way more." When I looked up at the masked man, I shuddered from his sinister presence. But before I could reject him, he grabbed my wrist, dropped some money on the counter, and dragged me outside. This time, however, she had clearly changed her mind. She tripped me again, but this time into Yorin's arms, while she walked straight to the masked man, Scion. She then spoke sonorously, "Please take me as your slave." Our parents were in the crowd, and both of them were stunned. Years ago, we had fallen to hard times and wandered to these lands where we were enslaved. Even so, our parents pinned their hopes on my sister's beauty, and hearing that Yorin would attend this auction, they bet everything on her. As long as Joey hooked up with Yorin, wealth and prestige were within reach. Hence, the fact that Joey chose the masked man undoubtedly threw a wrench into their plans. "Joey!" my mother snapped. Joey pretended not to hear, her fair cheeks covered in tears as she looked into Sion's impassive eyes. "I've heard so much about you, my lord. I'm your willing slave. Please love me." I could see our mother's knuckles clenching as she yelled from the crowd, "Joey, you'd better be sure about this. Your future and our family's future is in your hands." Joey turned toward her, purring, "Don't worry, Mom. I know what I'm doing." Our parents had always treasured her while neglecting me, just like now, as our mother thought about Joey's choice for just a brief moment before nodding in agreement. "Fine, I'll trust you on this, since you're always so smart, unlike your foolish sister." Sion's reaction remained hidden behind his mask. However, although he acted like he wasn't listening, he put the money on the counter and dragged my sister out of the building, just like he did with me in our last life. On the other hand, I was taken in the opposite direction by Yorin. Even as we left, the smug smile on Joey's face was stuck in my mind. I knew that she was convinced she would live in endless wealth and prestige like I did in my last life, and she would be right. The vampire's castle had more diamonds in there than salt, sparkling with such blinding radiance that I was losing sleep. However, all of that came at a price. My life. In my last life, I had been taken away from the auction hall without being given a choice, while Joey happily held hands with Yorin as they left. Our fate would have been polar opposites as expected. Joey would become the Alpha's treasure, reveling in endless prestige. As for me, my fate was unknown, reduced to an unknown figure's plaything. What Joey didn't expect was for Yorin to treat her so coolly and never take her to bed. Even as Joey fumed, she found out that Sion was a vampire whose wealth could match nations, and so became jealous. Later on, Yorin mauled her to death in his madness under the full moon, allegedly tearing through her throat while the rest of her was left in pieces. As her resentment burgeoned, she became a vengeful spirit that haunted me endlessly after death, unhappy that the same sister she had treated so insignificantly was doing well. She was in denial. It only got worse as Sion clearly treated me well, where Yorin had treated her so coldly.